Children who grew up in the 1970s experienced a very different environment from the one many kids grow up in today. Daily life involved far less technology, fewer structured activities, and much more independence. These differences shaped how children learn to think, solve problems, and interact with the world around them. The environment that shaped them. Childhood during the 1970s was often defined by freedom and unstructured time. Many children spent large portions of the day outside with friends, exploring neighbourhoods, riding bicycles, or creating games without constant supervision. Parents generally expected their children to manage their time independently and return home later in the day. This level of autonomy encouraged kids to navigate challenges and decisions on their own. Entertainment options were also limited compared to modern standards. Television existed, but there were only a few available channels, and programming was not constant throughout the day. Without endless digital content, children frequently turned to outdoor activities or imaginative play. Boredom was a normal part of everyday life, and dealing with boredom required creativity. Face-to-face social interaction, real-world social skills. Social interaction also looked very different. Friendships developed through direct, in-person experiences rather than digital communication. Children met their friends outside, knocked on doors, and spent time together without screens mediating their interactions. This meant that disagreements, misunderstandings, and cooperation all happened face-to-face. When conflicts occurred, children often had to resolve them without immediate adult intervention. Learning to navigate these situations helped many develop negotiation skills, emotional resilience, and social awareness. These experiences shaped how they understood relationships and communication. Growing up in an environment with more independence, less constant entertainment, and more direct social interaction created a unique set of psychological traits that many children of the 1970s carried into adulthood. Trait 1. Stronger independence. Independence. One of the most noticeable psychological traits developed by many children of the 1970s was independence. Because daily life often involved less supervision, children were expected to manage many situations on their own. They navigated neighbourhoods, organised activities with friends, and solved small problems without immediately turning to adults for guidance. This environment encouraged decision-making at an early age. When children were responsible for figuring things out themselves, they developed confidence in their ability to handle challenges. Over time, this repeated experience built a stronger sense of self-reliance. Independence was not something formally taught. It emerged naturally from the expectations and circumstances of everyday life. Trait 2. Higher tolerance for boredom. Boredom creates creativity. Another important psychological effect of growing up in the 1970s was a greater tolerance for boredom. With fewer digital distractions and limited entertainment options, children regularly experienced periods of unstructured time. Instead of instantly switching to a screen or an endless stream of content, they often had to create their own activities. This situation forced the brain to become more imaginative. Children invented games, explored their surroundings, or built stories and adventures through play. Over time, boredom became less uncomfortable, because it was often the starting point for creativity. Learning to sit with boredom helped many develop patience and resourcefulness. Trait 3. Face-to-face social skills. Social learning. Social development also occurred differently. Friendships were primarily built through in-person interaction rather than digital communication. This meant that social dynamics unfolded directly between people rather than through messages or online platforms. Children learned to read facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language in real time. Disagreements, misunderstandings, and cooperation all required direct conversation. Because adults were not always present to intervene immediately, children often had to work through conflicts themselves. These experiences helped many develop stronger communication skills and a deeper understanding of how relationships function. These experiences created psychological traits that shaped how many children of the 1970s approached challenges, relationships, and everyday life. In the next section, we will explore how these traits influenced their mindset and behaviour as they grew older. Trait 4. Greater risk tolerance, risk and resilience. Another psychological trait that often developed among children of the 1970s was a higher tolerance for risk. Outdoor play frequently involved activities that required physical coordination and judgment, such as climbing trees, riding bikes across neighborhoods, or exploring unfamiliar places with friends. These experiences naturally introduce small challenges and occasional mistakes. Learning through trial and error helped children become more comfortable with uncertainty. Minor setbacks were common and usually handled without significant adult intervention. As a result, many children developed resilience and confidence in their ability to handle unexpected situations. Over time, repeated exposure to manageable risks helped build a mindset that viewed challenges as part of normal experience rather than something to avoid. Trait 5. Stronger attention. Span, longer focus. Children growing up during this period were also less exposed to constant digital stimulation. Entertainment was slower and more limited, which meant that many activities required sustained attention. Reading books, building projects, playing long outdoor games, or watching scheduled television programs all encouraged patience and concentration. Without the constant interruptions that modern technology often introduces, children learn to remain engaged with a single activity for longer periods of time. This environment naturally supported the development of a longer attention span. Over time, focusing on tasks without frequent distraction became a normal part of everyday life. A different kind of childhood. Environment shapes behavior. The psychological traits seen in many children of the 1970s were not the result of a specific parenting method or deliberate training. Instead, they emerged from the environment in which those children grew up. Freedom to explore, limited digital entertainment, and regular face-to-face interaction created conditions that encouraged independence, creativity, and resilience. Every generation grows up within a different cultural and technological environment. These environments influence how children learn to think, interact, and respond to challenges. The experiences of the 1970s created a particular set of habits and perspectives that shaped how many individuals approached adulthood. The psychology of kids from the 1970s was shaped by their environment. Greater independence encouraged self-reliance. Regular boredom encouraged creativity. Face-to-face interactions strengthened social awareness. Everyday risks built resilience, and fewer digital distractions supported longer attention spans. Childhood environments leave lasting impressions, and the experiences of that era created a mindset that reflected the world those children grew up in. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for the latest videos.